and welcome to Yuli's English Country again. And the English book to read today is Magic Tree Story. Good morning, girls, and we can assist 4 at chapter 6. Good morning, girls, and we end our reading at chapter 8 because we're reading 2 chapters in one book. Now, are you ready for this one book and 2 stories? And now here we go. And first you can read Magic Treehouse. Good morning, girls. Chapter 6. Good morning, girls. Let's read it now. The pounding indeed. There was a silence, a long silence. Jack opened his eyes. He peeked around the tree. The silverback was sitting in the ground. Their lips were covered in a smile. He looked pleased with himself. Was he whole act a fake? Jack wondered. Jack didn't know whether to be scared or laughed. The only thing he didn't know was he still had to get Annie. And Jack pulled out the research book. He found a gorilla chapter again. He read, "The self-league I close the gorillas in the wild. Advised to act like a gorilla yourself. Crouch down and rest on your knuckles like gorilla. Keep your head down and act friendly." And Jack packed the research book. He put his back, and then he went on the knees, and Jack took a deep breath. He smiled, a friendly smile. Pressing down his knuckles, he moved out from behind a tree. His fingers hurt as he walked on them and the silverback ground, and Jack didn't look up. He kept smiling a friendly smile as he crawled through the bushes to the clearing. And then he got an edge of the clearing and glanced back. The giant gorilla was following him. He was frowning, but he didn't seem about to attack, and Jack kept going. He moved to a clearing. Then he stopped. The more gorillas were walking up. A large gorilla hugged Boo Boo as if to comfort her. When Boo Boo saw Jack, he screeched joyfully. Other gorillas turned to look at him, and he made a nervous sounds, and Jack heart pounded, but he just smiled a friendly smile as kept crawling. He crawled around the gorilla's over to Annie. "Wake up," he said, shaking her, and Annie yawned. He opened her eyes. "Oh, hi," she said. "Are you okay?" said Jack. "Sure," she said. She sat up and looked around. She gasped. The gorillas were staring at Jack and Annie with a bright turning eyes. The silverback turned to horses. "Oh, wow," said Annie. A joyful smile crossed her face. "Good morning, gorillas." And chapter 7, eating out. And now tomorrow we started let's start at chapter 7 and then I'm reading at chapter 8, okay? And Annie keeps smiling at gorillas. "Wow," she said. "Wow, wow, wow. Didn't you know we were sleeping next to them?" said Jack. "No," she said. "When you didn't come back, Boo Boo let me here, but I couldn't see anything. It was too dark." Just then, Boo Boo left her mother's arms and bounded over to Annie. She climbed into Annie's lap and hugged her. Another small gorilla left his mother and ran over Annie too. He was about size a 2-year-old kid. "Ho, ho," he said. He gave Annie a playful poke. "Ho, ho, yourself," said Annie. "Is Ho Ho your name?" She tickled Ho Ho. She tickled Boo Boo too. 2 small gorillas made a laughing sound and fell on their backs. And the 2 mother gorillas laughed too. "Ha ha ha," they said. And Jack felt a little serious. He wanted the gorillas like him as well, but he didn't know how to join in the fun, so he just sighed and pushed over to a notebook, and he added to a gorilla Weaver list. Gorillas like to tickle and laugh. Suddenly, he heard a low growl. He looked up. A silverback had moved closer to him. He was glaring. The big guy doesn't understand what you're doing, Annie called to Jack. He's never seen anyone take notes before. Jack quickly put a notebook away, and the giant gorilla huffed. Then he turned to his family and gave a short bark. And the gorillas began to lining up behind the silverback, and the baby trembled in his mother's arms. Ho-Ho trembled in his mother's back, and Boo-Boo and Annie held up their hands, and they followed the silverback up the clearing. Come on, Annie said to Jack. Let's go, a big guy and the gang. And Jack shook his head. I don't think they want me to come along, he said. Boo-Boo scratched at Jack, and she held up out a free hand to him. Boo-Boo wants you, said Annie, and Jack smiled shyly. And he took Boo-Boo's small warm hand, and then he walked with Annie and gorillas out of the clearing. And the one rambled through a cloud forest. The gorillas found food everywhere. They munched the flowers and ferns and leaves, and they shouted and burped. And they munched the twigs and branches and pieces of bark and bamboo. They shouted and burped, and the gorillas and their breakfast it started to rain again. But they didn't seem to mind. Oh, I think gorillas love rain too. And Annie didn't seem to mind either. She and Boo-Boo played a tag in the drizzly woods. Oh, I love tag too, Jack. Annie and Boo-Boo loved the tagging too. But they ran around the trees laughing and screeching. And Jack tried to follow them, but he gave up. It was so tired and cold. Shivering, he stood up under a musty tree to keep dry. And while he's alone, Jack sneaked his notebook out of his pack and made a new list. Gorilla foods, flowers, ferns, leaves, twigs, bark, branches, and bamboo. As he wrote, he heard a low growl. He looked up. A big guy stopped him. The silverback was standing close by. He was frowning at Jack and leaves, tucking in a tight line. Sorry, said Jack. He quickly put away his notebook. A big guy kept frowning. Jack quickly tried to act like a gorilla. He went down on all flowers and tore of a leaf down a plant. He looked bite, and it tastes bitter like a badger, and I pretend to munch and swallow and burp. And a big guy huffed it and then moved on. As soon he was gone, Jack spat out a leaf. Yuck, 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 he said, wiping his tongue. And Jack felt a tap on the back, and he jumped it. But it was just Ho-Ho. A small gorilla offered a twig to eat. Oh, no thanks, Ho-Ho, said Jack. And Ho-Ho keep holding the twig. Okay, said Jack, boldly taking it. I'll eat it later, said a twig on the backpack, and Ho's mom came over to Jack. She held up some berries to his lips. Oh, no thanks. And the gorilla stared at him and sad look. Oh, okay, said Jack, and he opened his mouth. And Ho-Ho's mom fed him the berries, and Jack munched the berries. To his surprise, it tastes good, and he swallowed and burped just like a gorilla. This time, he wasn't pretending. A Boo-Boo's mom then came over to Jack. She offered some rainwater from the carpet plant. It was very thirsty. And he sipped the water, taste fresh and cold. Boo-Boo's mom took Jack's hand and wiped his hand, and she led them through the forest to Annie and Boo-Boo. A Boo-Boo scratched happily when she saw that. She threw the furry arms around him. Hi, we miss you, Annie said to Jack. Are you having fun? Jack smiled and nodded. Oh, I think Gorilla loved Jack now. And actually he was having fun now. He didn't mind Ran so much anymore. He didn't feel so left out. Some gorillas really seemed to like him. He thought he seemed to like him a lot. And now chapter 8 is special language. And tomorrow we started at chapter 8, and I think there's a special language for only gorillas too. And now tomorrow we started at chapter 8 and we are reading at chapter 10, okay? And now, did you have fun? Nearest English, can you come back with them? This book. But not the story because it might be a new chapter to read. And are you excited to read a new chapters? And please thumbs up my YouTube and bye bye everybody. Have a nice Saturday. Bye bye.